right, we are in North Denver. We're about to walk a house with an ADU, which is that small house out back, which is actually going to be taken down through the BRRRR strategy: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. So we'll walk the property and go through all the numbers. Let's go meet the gang. All right, so we're inside with Terrance, and again, we got Lauren Valanotti with us, who's an agent here in Denver, does lots of investing, and also a fix and list as well. So it's good to get her opinion on the construction. So Terrance, start giving us a tour here.
Yeah, so this is the best part of the whole unit. We have this amazing feature here, this fireplace. I might auction this off after the episode, so stay tuned because that'll go for a lot of money.
Oh, come on, the best comment, we'll get that for free, right?
That's right, the best comment, we'll get that. So this was what they used for their heat source. So we're gonna do, this is the living room, we'll do baseboard heat. This is the ADU. So we bought a single family home. It's roughly 1,700 square feet. It's a 3-bed, 1.5 bath. We think we can add a 4th bedroom, so that's the main house. This is the ADU in the back. It actually has a private entrance, which we'll show, and we can look at the outside later. But we're gonna keep the carpet. I'm not a fan of carpet, as you know. I try and never have to deal with carpet just because of what happens after tenants live in it for too long. But this carpet's actually not too bad, so we will keep it. And then we'll just do our new light fixtures that we do in all of our rentals. We'll do paint, so we'll just paint the walls like an off-white to brighten it up. And then we can go over to the kitchen, and I'll show you guys some of the things we're gonna do there to make this valuable as a rental.
All right.
Over here, what we're gonna do is, as you can see, the fridge is here. It's kind of awkward, kind of floating. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lose a little bit of cabinet space. We're gonna put the fridge here, and then we're gonna remove this ugly thing in the middle and put a microwave that has the vent under it. So as you can see, the appliances, it's kind of a bonus. These are in pretty good shape. And normally appliances, you know, a package and a rental package is between 1,000 and 1,200. So we'll save some money here. Put their microwave. We're gonna do what we've been doing in these kind of rentals where they're just like, you know, workforce rentals. We're just staining the laminate and it comes out to like a charcoal. So it looks kind of like a black granite, kind of like what we just, you know, we've seen in some of the other rentals I do. So we'll stain the countertop. It's normally like $200. So a lot cheaper than installing any finish there. $1,000 cheaper than granite, a couple $100 cheaper than laminate. And we'll still do our subway tile backsplash just to make it pop a little bit for rental. So we'll do that, and then we're gonna do new light fixtures. So we'll remove the fans because it has this property actually has the cold air that blows. What's that called?
Forced air?
It's not forced air, but it's
swamp cooler.
This way has a, sorry,
okay.
I had a brain fart. Yeah, it has a swamp cooler.
Okay.
So there's no need for an AC unit or the fan. So we have the swamp cooler. We'll add the light fixtures, and then here, this is some beaten up kind of linoleum. We're gonna do LVT here. So we'll be able to bring the LVT in here, and so it'll be the kitchen and the bathroom. We'll do all LVT.
And what are you doing with the cabinets? Are you just gonna refinish these?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So these aren't that bad.
No, yeah, they're in really good shape.
They're not terrible, but just for aesthetics and to try and get, I think, a little higher level tenant that stays a little bit longer, we're gonna sand these down and then paint them and then do new fixtures, new hardware. Yep.
Nice.
So it'll be white. This will be, you know, a subway tile, and then we'll have a dark countertop with the white appliances. And our whole goal is to be in and out of here in 8,000 labor materials.
Okay. And
we think the goal is to rent this for 1,200 plus rubs. So I think that's a realistic budget, and you know, we'll add a ton of value if we can do that. Right now, before we purchased it, they were renting it for $750.
So way under market rent.
Way under
even
market
for
rent.
addition.
Exactly. Yep.
So Lauren, just forgetting that this is an ADU, but like if you came here doing like a fix and list, what would you do? What would you change? Just top of the mind, high level stuff.
So what you always want to do first when you're doing a fix and list, and so a fix and list is getting a property ready to go on the market to sell. You always want to do comps. So that's really going to dictate, how much money you're going to put in. Because for every dollar you put in, you at least want to get $2 back for that. So really, the comps of best case scenario, completely rehabbing it, is going to now give me a good understanding of how much money to rehab. But I would think for this area, I would say like $10,000 to $12,000 to go into something like this.
Yeah, and when you're listing to sell, like in our previous life of flipping properties, we're doing much higher end, I would guess, right? You're probably gonna do granite, you maybe replace the cabinets, you're probably gonna do all the same flooring here.
It just depends, really. And again, it's all be about comps. It's amazing, as I'm sure what you've seen, what brand new flooring and a fresh coat of paint on the walls and then painting something white, putting up some subway, how much that can really increase your selling price.
Yeah.
Really, because people just want clean, safe, and finished.
Yeah.
And they want to feel like it hasn't been lived in before.
Yeah, that's well said. One of the things I think that I've seen investors make a mistake of, and Chris, you can jump in here, is they get into real estate, they're watching the shows, they see all these amazing artistic finishes, on TV or on Pinterest, and then they come in here and they want to redo and almost over renovate, because it doesn't matter what I do to this, it's 800 square foot ADU in North Denver. So the max rent is really going to be $1,200 to $1,300, no matter what I do. So there comes a point where you can, every dollar you spend, like you said, to try and get $2 or $3 back, I can be getting $0.
Yep.
So there comes a point where every dollar over a certain amount has a zero return. And so the key is to understand what that is. And I think, from my previous experience and the mistakes I've made, is try and do less is more at the beginning. And then if it doesn't rent quickly in the first couple weekends, you can always go in and add a granite countertop or backsplash or a nicer appliance or a nicer bathroom, but you can never, it's much harder to take it away. So I always say, if you're starting out, try less. Try doing it like this, staining the cabinets, or try even without if you're on a tight budget, without staining, and see how the feedback is. Try it without backsplash, see how the feedback is. Try it without the stainless steel appliances and see, and then you can always tinker and add, versus trying to take off, higher end finishes, way harder and more expensive.
All right.
That's a good point.
Let's check out the bathroom.
Oh, this is great color in here.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. So what we find in a lot of these ADUs and smaller homes in Denver is that a lot of the renovations and updates they've done it by the homeowner. So not really to taste or to market rent, or even, as you can see here, I don't know what they did running the plumbing here. I'm scared to open up and find out what all is going on there. So what we'll do is we'll come in here, as we said, do LVT. Because it is a rental, we'll do LVT through here in the kitchen. If it was in a better part of town, or if it was something we were selling, we most likely would do tile. And then what we found is there's a company that you can stain this kind of tile here, so we won't have to do a new subfloor in the shower pan in the shower, which will save us $500 to $1,000 depending on how the plumbing works there and how the drain is. So we'll just stain it, and then we will do tile, the 12 by 24 tile in the shower, and we'll do new plumbing fixtures for the shower head, and then we'll do a new rod. So all in here, and then we're gonna obviously paint this amazing turquoise. We'll just paint it off-white, and then we'll do a new kitchen vanity, a couple $100, a new light fixture. As you can see, that doesn't really go with our theme. We'll remove some of this old stuff that has no real value. We'll do a new towel rack. We should be in and out of here in $2,000. The most expensive part being the tile there. But since we're leaving this, it's gonna save us a lot of money from having to re-pour a shower pan, which can be $1,000, $2,000 just in itself right there.
Plus with time too, right? If you do the brand new shower pan, you have to let it set, so you're kind of losing a couple extra days too.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, the goal here is we closed on this last week. We're gonna have this thing rented. Hopefully we're gonna, we'll do the renovations in 1 to 2 weeks, and it should be rented hopefully in the first or second weekend. So by mid-August, this is cash flowing, and then we can move on to the main house.
Great.
This is a pretty large size room. Super
spacious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might put a king bed in here. I don't know, maybe a couple bunk beds, do some beds against the wall. No, we'll just do a king, we'll just do a queen or a single bed here. But it is nice, as you said, I think it's 120 feet. Some bedrooms in Denver you can get as small as 80. So yeah, it has a closet, it has the window. As I said, the carpet isn't that bad. It won't really deter us from getting the kind of tenant that we need here. We'll just paint the walls, new light fixture. And yeah, it'll be good to go. We don't really have to do new baseboard trim here. That can get expensive, so less is more. So another interesting feature about this ADU that really made it a home run for us was back here, as you can see, this is a junkyard right now, but it actually could serve as the yard or where the pets could be, as well as a driveway. So if we cut down the fence that's there currently, then they have basically a 2.5 car width space that we can pour concrete, they can park their car and make it really feel like their own home, as opposed to parking on the street and maybe feeling more like a temporary living situation.
Especially if you got a family, you got your groceries in your hand, you're having to go through that front gate. That's what does add an
100%.
extra touch for it.
Yeah.
Would you be able to expand off of here and do a covered parking at all as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We could do that. I'm not sure if the money, I think carports could be 500 or 1,000. Okay. I'm not really sure if we would get that. That's one of those things where we might be overdoing it.
Yeah.
If the tenant stays longer, what I normally like to do is, on their second or third year renewal, of say, hey, if you guys are willing to bump rents, we'll give you a carport or something. I like to add that on once I already have a tenant that's there and kind of reward them as kind of a carrot for staying longer or signing an extension. But initially, I think paving it, putting some grass on that side or gravel or mulch to where the pets, children, they can have as a play area. They have their own backyard, their own driveway now, and it really starts to feel more like a home. And I think what you get for that is just a longer term tenant. I may not get much more monthly. Like I said, I think in this area I'm maxed out. at $1,200, but what I'll get is maybe some more loyalty and longevity out of them, which is huge, right? I mean, the number one killer of ROI in a rental is just vacancy. So the longer I can keep someone in here, the more they view this as their home and permanent, the better it is for us and for them. So I think that could be a big value add. And when I saw that, I was like, man, this is for the price. That was kind of an uncovered, I like to call a golden nugget that I uncovered during due diligence. So let's check out, we can go out to the backyard.
So I was curious, is there a washer and dryer already installed here somewhere?
I'm so glad you asked that, because that is a huge component to this, and I can't believe I missed it when we were in the kitchen. But part of getting the right tenants and having them stay long is not making them go to the laundromat every time they want to wash their clothes. So when we move the fridge over into this corner, we're gonna make this, the washer and dryer, just be stackable.
Okay.
So they have a stackable, but wait till you guys see where their current washer dryer is. I got a real treat for you.
Oh, this is gonna be great. It's outside?
Yeah. So this lovely structure is their current dryer closet.
Oh, wow.
As you can see, it's outside. They ran their own 220 there.
Okay.
And it's pretty creative. I got to give them points for creativity. Not very safe, not very functional. So we're going to remove that, take it inside. And then just around the corner, you have your lovely washer room. Oh,
was that what's in the shed?
Yeah.
When we first walked in? Okay.
So I've never seen this before.
Okay.
But part of their skill set was being a handyman, and they were able to insulate, build their own washer room. They ran their own plumbing, so I'm not sure how it works, but we're not going to find out. So we're just going to tear this down, bring the laundry room inside, make it more functional, make it safer, and just a better experience for our tenant. But this worked for them, and it's kind of part of what you see in Denver, with just outdated homes. People have lived here for 20, 30 years. They had a legacy tenant, I think, for 10, and it worked for them,
Nice. Well, that is at first, like I said, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that was quite the surprise. So we'll add, we'll have another pathway when, we'll take down the fence. They'll be able to park back there. They'll be able to walk to their front door, and it'll just add to that whole feel of this being their home as opposed to just feeling like a rental.
Well, let's go back in the shade and talk some more.
Let's do it.
It's getting too hot out here. All right, so I know we can't check out the main house, which is out front because it's still tenant occupied.
That's right.
But what's the rundown on that? What's the condition? Is it handyman special stuff like this? What's that like?
A lot of handyman specials. Like you just saw, the people that lived here are pretty creative, out of the box, free thinkers, as I like to call it. So they were running their own electrical everywhere. And it's the same thing in the house. So we're gonna have to come in there, bring the electrical back to code, make it safe and compliant. Other than that, it's just cosmetic. We're gonna possibly add a bedroom. The 2 basement bedrooms are non-conforming. They don't have egress windows. In past episodes, we've talked about the value of egress windows, how it makes it safe for tenants, and also adds to the back-end value. Now having a conforming bedroom when I go to sell it versus a non-conforming. The biggest thing is safety, though. In this day and age, the last thing we want is a fire, anything happening to the tenants. So the first thing we do before we ever move any tenants in is the egress window. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. We'll touch up the paint. I believe we'll do some tile in the bathrooms. And then the kitchen will be almost the exact same. We'll paint the cabinets, countertops. And so part of what you touched on was we did after we closed on it last week, we allowed the tenants to stay in for up to 30 days because they had some complications with some other things that they were doing. And the value of that was we were able to, in exchange, get a cheaper purchase price because we were more flexible. And we didn't need to occupy ourselves or didn't need to get in right away, or we didn't need them to pay us rent. We were able to get the property at a number that made sense for our buy box, our investment criteria. So part of being, part of getting deals where you have to be flexible on terms, flexible on the seller or the tenant moving out or find another place to live. So those are just part of the things that came into this transaction that allowed us to get the property.
And how long are these guys going to be in place? Like, when is their lease up?
I think it's 30 days.
30 days.
But they're hoping to be out sooner. They had some, obviously with everything going on around the country, they had some issues, some things fall through on their end. So we're trying to work with them and make sure that they're in a comfortable place until they have their next living situation.
All right, so we're gonna get out of the heat. We'll go back to the studio, record some numbers, and go through all the details about how Terrance got this. The numbers on there, so come check out the second half.
Let's go.
All right, guys, we're back in the studio here. We just came back from walking the house with the ADU in northern Denver. This is, we're gonna go through numbers on here. And what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna run the numbers in real time through the BRRRR calculator on the BP website. Because we wanna do it in real time because we definitely, input some incorrect things. It's good for you guys to go through and hear a discussion because Terrance underwrites one way, me run way, Lauren the other way. So we'll go through, underwrite it, talk about it, plug the numbers, look at the results, then make sure we didn't make any mistakes. So Terrance and Lauren are here from the Ride Along Show as well. So we are going into the BP calculator. And I think I've got the Burr one selected. Yep. So start a new report. We'll just say house with ADU. We'll call this in Denver. Now, if you're really putting this report out for your own property, you're looking for investors, you can fill in all this stuff. We're just going to keep it really simple for the sake of the video. So we have printed out this spreadsheet that Terrance and his asset manager prepared for this. And so we've got printed off on here. We should be able to put a copy of this in the show notes on the blog post as well. If you want to follow along and see it, make sure you click on there. So we will reference this a little bit, but it'll be hard to show that while we're on here plugging the numbers. So annual property taxes. Who's in the hot seat reading the numbers? Terrance or Lauren?
Are these monthly?
Monthly, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And that's what they're looking for.
Oh, they're looking for,
No, this is
monthly.
This is annual property taxes.
Okay, so we're going to have to do math
What a
again.
curveball.
Attention to details.
All right, so we're at $167 a month. So for a year, it's going to be $2,004.
We'll skip all the other stuff on here. Purchase price. Terrance, what did you buy this for?
$320.
Now, what do you think the ARV will be?
$420.
So $100,000 spread. So when you bought it, what closing costs do you have on the buy side?
So we closed it with private money. So there was no points. It was title. It was like $1,500.
Okay, so basically just
It was just closing, just title
standard
fees.
stuff.
Yeah,
So $1,500. So that is incredibly cheap for closing costs on a property.
that's right.
So what's your total estimated repair cost?
$30,000.
And that's for the ADU and the main house, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, I actually want to, since you talk about private money, let's talk
Yes.
about that for a second, because I think that's a very interesting trigger. Like we tend to gloss over it.
Right.
But that's a, you don't go to your bank, you
That's
don't
right.
call up Quicken Loans and get private money. What is it and how'd you get it?
Yeah, private money. So there's 3 different kinds of funding that we are primarily used to. It's hard money, which is normally between 10 and 14%. You're normally paying 1 or 2 points. And so it's very expensive, but they do a lot of leverage. So most of the time what I've seen is 90% of purchase, 100% of construction. So you get a lot more money, but you're going to pay for it. The second in the middle is private money, which is what we used here, which is just individuals that are wealthy individuals. So not a company, not institutional. They have a bunch of cash, anywhere from $100 to millions of dollars, and they take the first position on the property, so they have a lien on it, a deed of trust, and then in my case, we're paying anywhere from 6 to 8%, and you pay them monthly interest. So less than hard money, more than a bank, but very flexible. There's no closing cost, no prepayment fees, nothing like that. So very inexpensive in terms of closing cost, cheaper than hard money, and we still got 100% of the purchase price funded, which is not, maybe you can't start out there because of the relationships and the track record. People trust us that we're going to execute, so they're willing to do that. And for them, it's better than, like we just talked about, money just sitting in a bank account earning virtually no interest. So it's a win-win. And then the last one, you have bank financing, which would be about 4 to 5% interest, but you're gonna get a lot less leverage, so 75 to 80% of the purchase price, and you're gonna pay probably 1% in closing costs. So I think that's the breakdown, high level.
Okay. And I know this is you're definitely going for the Burr strategy on here. So once it's rehabbed and seasoned, are you going to do takeout financing for a conventional or keep it private?
No, we will 6 months, we will refinance, and we hope to refinance several properties there with private money and just do it on one portfolio loan.
Okay.
Which just basically means we have several addresses on one loan, so we don't have to have multiple loans, just one payment to simplify. And that's most likely what we'll do. We'll
So
definitely
you'll
take
time
advantage.
this with other properties
That's
you're
right.
refinancing?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So estimated repair costs are $30,000, and that's got to be a lot of the work in the main house, right? Because ADU just needed some freshening up.
Yeah, we're gonna paint the cabinets, do some tile in the ADU, do some electrical work.
You're not leaving the dryer there?
Yeah, that dryer was very interesting. Yeah, it's just cosmetic.
Yeah.
Really minor cosmetic stuff.
Main houses too?
Yeah, the main house.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's kind of similar to what ADU was, just a little
Yeah, we're moving carpet.
old.
We're doing egress. The biggest ticket items are the egress windows, and we talked about from a liability perspective.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
All right, so purchase loan details here. You got 100%, you said, right?
That's right.
So 0% down.
That's right. Do you have to click on cash purchase?
Well, you're not buying. You didn't buy cash, though. Because this is if someone's using their own cash.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah, you just, yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I've used to calculate in the past. Interest rate on
Cool.
here,
That makes
8%?
sense. 8%.
Any points?
No.
Any other
No.
fees from your lender?
No.
So that doesn't matter there for paying the points.
Interest only, yes. No.
This is interest only. No PMI. So when you think you'll
6
refinance?
months. So maybe 7. We'll
7
start it
with
at
a
6 with
rehab
a
and
7
leasing.
with the with closing.
So estimated rehab time?
1 month.
1 month?
We'll be done by the 15th.
All right. So for the new loan amount, so
If it appraises for, this is good. To
you
go
were talking
through.
about I'm going to do the calculator up here.
420 times 0.8.
So on a blanket loan, you can get a 20% down payment?
Yeah, we should.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never done one, so that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, we should be able to get that. Yeah.
Okay, so 420 times 0.8 is going to be $336,000. I mean,
Should get that at 4%. And there will be fees there, probably 1%.
So we'll just say, what about?
Just put 4,000 to be safe.
And you'll probably pay those out of pocket?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Interest only, I'm assuming no?
Yeah, we're gonna pay.
I mean,
Principal.
there's no PMI, it's an investment loan. Probably how many years?
30 years.
Okay. Typical cap rate for the area.
7, 6.
For up there?
What do you think?
It's amazing if that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Up there
Oh, yeah.
in that part of Denver? What do you think it is? 6,
For a single family home, no, I think it's probably around 5 or so.
5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're low, man.
I don't buy on cap rate, so I
know.
don't ever look. Yeah, so 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the ADU will be different because that, like, if you buy a house on an ADU, you'll be around like a 5 cap. You buy a
Right.
house on ADU, you'll be at like a 6+ cap.
Right.
That's what we're seeing when we buy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, single family homes in Denver, they're the lowest cap rates.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Well, you're too busy buying all the big stuff. All right, so we're gonna click next step here. So total gross monthly rent. So where did the spreadsheet go up?
Very conservative here from Ben. Ben, the CFO.
So what? $1,250 for the rent and $2,000 for the main house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So altogether, we'll say, keep it simple. We'll say $1,736 times 2. Now you can do like a unit breakdown. We're just gonna, for the sake of simplicity, just keep it simple. So $3,472 is what you're estimating for all your rent, and that is for the main house, the ADU, plus parking, and some utility bill back. Other monthly income, we should put parking in there, but I'm lazy, so we'll do it up there. All right, so we have monthly expenses here, or is what we learned from the last video. So for electricity, I mean,
It should be 0. It's in the tenant's
because
name.
it's in a separate meter,
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 0 there. Water and sewer. I mean, you guys will have to be paying that. I've never seen any.
Yeah, we're gonna pay
separate.
that. What is that gonna be? Probably like $60 a month.
Do you have irrigation?
No irrigation.
Yeah.
75 to be more conservative.
75 to 100. I mean, 75 to 100.
Okay.
PMI 0. Garbage.
So what? 60 a month?
Well, this is Denver, so it's already in your taxes.
That's right.
Yeah. So right, because that was a Denver address, right?
Denver address.
Yeah. So we're checking because Denver is Denver Metro is 5 counties, and Denver City, Denver County are 1. And for single families, garbage is part of your property taxes. HOA none. Monthly insurance.
What do we have there, Lauren?
$225
A month?
property insurance.
Ouch.
Dude, that seems really high.
Do I need to get a new insurance broker?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can refer one.
I think Lauren
Or should I
can.
find one on BiggerPockets?
I got one.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that is.
That's an actual number. Maybe that's high because of construction. Maybe we can get lower after construction.
Yeah, I mean, for places
play
we're buying
devil's
ADUs, I mean, we're seeing from like $1,500 to $2,000 for the year. So you should be able to drop that from $2,600, $2,700.
$800, $900. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, send me that number. Stat.
All right, any other expenses on here? So we've got taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, groundkeeping.
Snow removal, maybe?
You just have your tenants do that?
They should. I don't know what Ben was underwriting there. Yeah, it should not be other expenses, right?
Especially with the way you're separating out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the back
Tenants
the
should-
ADU people
yeah.
do their stuff. The front
Right.
will do their stuff. Like,
There shouldn't be any other expenses.
yeah. So no groundkeeping. And then we got vacancy.
What are you underwriting single family vacancy at?
I mean, the reality is vacancy is like 2 to 3% for that. I stay conservative on the
So
right at 5%.
5%.
I like to be the conservative. So repairs and maintenance. I know this is going to be fully rehabbed on here.
What do you think? With between both, $75 a month, so $150 total.
So I do all like percentages. So if we do 150
Times 12.
well, just divide that by the rent of 34. So we're at like 4.3%. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
CapEx.
What do you do? $250 a year? Maybe with the ADU, get it to $350.
Yeah. Well, what? Sorry, I can't talk into the same time. Hold on.
Malfunction.
All right. So for CapEx, I mean, you have it underwritten your spreadsheet here. Yeah, $250 for the year. I mean, I would definitely up that with ADU.
Yeah, 400.
Yeah. So let's just say we got to go to percent. So if we say 400 divided by 12, so that's $33 a month divided by, we said 34 or 50. 9%. So we'll just say 1% or keep it simple. So, I mean, basically between the two, you're at 5%.
Right.
My rule of thumb for single family properties in Denver is to do 8%.
Expenses?
Yeah, but that's expenses and CapEx over the long term.
Okay.
But the thing here with ADUs, you got two things here to like play devil's advocate. Since this is going to be rehab, your expenses should be lower the first couple of years. But also since you have higher rent, your overall expenses should be a little bit lower. But talking to property managers, they've said a lot of times they're about 8% over like a 10-year plus horizon.
Wow.
So I think, I would underwrite this for buying it like 5% total. Just, hey, if it's rehabbed and good to go, we should be low expenses the first few years. But over 10, 15 years, I'd be underwriting 8%.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I underwrite it. How do you look at, Lauren?
I mean, I've learned from the best, Chris, and yeah. So
Okay, I'm just curious if you underwrite differently.
nope.
Okay. Management fees.
7%.
All right. 7%. Annual growth income. So this is interesting now to do with COVID going on. I mean, we're recording this, early August we're in right now. So
I've been really conservative. I've been doing 1 to 2% in Denver right now, just because I don't plan on. I just want the property to be occupied. I'm not really looking to like max out rent like we could have in the years past. So I think 1% is
All
fine.
right.
Now appreciation in Denver in this price point, you're probably what 6 to 8% conservatively.
yeah, I mean, I underwrite everything like 3% appreciating number, but over there, I mean, I would not be surprised if you're at 5 to 8%.
Because it's such a low price point.
Yeah. I mean, I would say 5% to be like, realistic. And this is part of it because I know people say, oh, well, don't plan on appreciation. Cool. You're not planning on appreciation to pay the bills, but like we can look at it. This is a transitioning area. We have so low inventory of affordable housing, like sub 500, that those places are just, I mean, they're appreciating so quickly. 3% for like annual expense.
Yeah.
Sales expenses, I know you're not going to sell this, but if you were, I mean, you'd be at what, 5%?
5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, calculate results.
Ooh.
Where's a drum roll? All right. So let's go through here. Pro forma, 6.9% cap rate, which is phenomenal. So let's look through here at the expenses. So vacancies at $173 a month. That looks about right. CapEx looks right. Insurance looks right. Your P&I looks right. Nothing is jumping out to me that looks incorrect on here. Look good to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll go through this during the rehab period. So, I mean, your biggest expense during the rehab period is just going to be your repairs,
Mm-hmm.
and then a couple carrying costs and utility bills, which is nothing. And you can see you got about $21 a month in your private money, 8% loan.
That's interesting that it still cash flows pretty well, even if we were to carry that out.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
So your initial rental period, so this is while you're renting it out, but you still have the 8% private money note on there. So this is that, you've rehabbed it, now you're renting out, now you're letting season. Because typically for, the BRRRR strategy, they want to see a 6-month seasoning period. I don't think I've met a bank yet that'll do anything less than 6 months for
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it exists. Yeah, for a rental property, you have to have at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially on the portfolio side. I don't think I've ever seen anything of that. So on the refinance side, here's a great thing. 50% cash or 49.89% cash on cash return. And that's just because initially up front, you put so little money down because you bought for 0% down. And so I'm assuming, it's probably just calculates based off of that $30,000 repair cost. Now, is that $30,000 coming out of your repair costs or your own pocket or the private money?
Well, we're going to have, because we're getting $336 back, so off the 30, so it's probably subtracting the $16,000 from the
too. Yeah.
So we'll have legitimately like $15,000 or $20,000 in. Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah, you're right. I totally skipped that. So on the refinance side, you can take
We're
out
going to have some cash.
that and pay back some of the other stuff as well.
Right.
So overall, we're looking at a 50% cash on cash return and basically a 6.9% cap rate.
810 in monthly cash flow. Solid.
Yeah. That is really good. All right, so let's go down here. What I'm interested in seeing.
Ooh, almost got the 1% rule.
I know.
Not that it matters.
Not
to
though.
us, to
You're
me.
a hundredth of a point off though.
Yeah.
At 0.99. But that's what we see here in Denver. I don't know how other markets are, but the single family houses that cash flow well, people either renting room by room or they have an ADU or mother-in-law suite.
Right.
That's where we're getting anywhere close to really strong cash flow on those. So year one, your cash flow is really good because your rehab time is 1 month. So going down here, look at this. If you sold in year one, you'd be at $70,000 profit. If you sold in year two, which has got the full operating data, you could make $100,000 profit if you sold it. So, you got two great exit strategies. Keep it as a rental or sell it and take some chips off the table. But this is going to be just a long-term hold, right?
Yeah, this strategy for me is really long-term, 10, 20 years, to pay down principal, collect some cash flow, let that area appreciate, and really just take advantage of just a discrepancy in the market.
Yeah. All right, what other things we can talk about on here?
How did you find it? Was this a off-market deal?
Yes, off-market deal. We just had some people pounding the pavement and knew kind of what we were looking for. And, they gave us a call. I think they had difficulty selling it, and we were able to close quickly and make it convenient for them. I think they had some family. They were moving. They were going to Dallas, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Just relationships and being really clear about what we're looking for.
So let's kind of end with a tip on here because if I know a lot of people we talk to through our the YouTube lives we're doing and some BiggerPockets. A lot of them are brand new investors.
Right.
So look at this right now. This looks phenomenal on paper, and this is a deal that everyone wants to do. But these are hard in Denver.
Right.
I think they're hard in a lot of markets right now with the way the market is.
Right.
What advice do you have for people that want to execute on and do something like this?
If someone wants to buy a rental, I think the ADU thing can come and go. I don't, but I think if someone wants to buy a rental, it goes back to the fundamentals we've talked about. And, Lauren, you can weigh in here with how you're coaching your clients. But I think you just have to have a plan, right? You have to know what you're looking for. Okay, we have a 401k, we have an IRA, we have some savings. We want either our primary residence as a house hack or we want a rental property. What is it that you're looking for? Be really clear about your goals. Be realistic. And then when you have a box and you're like, okay, I'm looking for a property under $400,000 that gets me 8% cash on cash, and that's your goal, as soon as you come across it, you have to be willing to take action. No one's going to help you find properties and deals if you're not willing to take action. And so I think that's one of my big things is be really clear about what you're looking for, build relationships with brokers and wholesalers in your market, and then as soon as they send you a property, you need to be ready to take action. I think that's one of the reasons why there's been so many people that have helped me acquire properties over the years is when they bring me a deal, I've been willing to take action. I think that you can't emphasize that enough. A lot of people, they get really excited about planning and preparing and then meeting and looking at properties. And then as soon as the right one comes, they kind of get, cold feet. And that's just not the way to build long-term relationships in real estate and to have success at finding properties. That'd be my advice. What do you think, Lauren?
I mean, those are all really great points. I think the most important part when you're starting is making sure that you're getting your financing in place. And that really kind of helps you figure out, okay, can I go to a condo, a townhouse, and that's really going to help you narrow down realistically what you can afford. And that will also help you figure out how quickly can you get into the game also.
Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah. We used to talk about that, right? Is you have to, if you're going to meet with people that are going to bring you properties, you have to be pre-approved. Like I wouldn't even sit down with someone unless you already had your financing approved. So it's another stool on the fundamental chair.
I mean, I agree.
You got to have your financing.
Financing, and you have to execute when people bring in the deal. Like,
that's right.
I get irritated, and I think both the guys have heard me complain about this. Oh, people say I want these 3 bullet points.
Right.
Great. So if we find a property, we meet this, you'll buy it. Yep. Cool. Here are the 3 bullet points. Here's a product. Oh, well, now they do the him and haw what you're talking about.
Actually, that doesn't hit the 2% rule I just saw on BiggerPockets.
Yeah.
I need the 2% rule. It's like, no, that does, yeah.
Guess who doesn't get the property next time?
Right, exactly. The people are willing to take action. So,
But yeah, so I think that's the big reason why you consistently, people bring you properties because you perform. Yeah.
We have done that throughout the years.
Cool. All right, guys. So let us know how you like the new format of the show while we're doing the deal analyses, in real time. We're doing very little prep. We're not making sure the spreadsheet's ready to go before we go in there. We're plugging numbers that we can hear our discussions, see us do some math, see us make a mistake or two. Let us know on there. And then we've also got some coupon codes for the BP calculators. It is right along 20.
Right along 10 for the books.
Okay, so right along 10 for the books.
And right along BP for the pro membership.
Okay.
So it's 2.
All right, you say that again because I screwed that up.
Oh.
So for
Forget
the pro
what you
membership,
just heard from Chris. If you want to buy a book on BiggerPockets, it's right along 10. You get a 10% discount. And if you want to be a pro member, which is how Chris and I met, so you get enhanced networking features, you get to message other things with your profile, and you get the calculators for free with the pro membership. It's right along BP and you get a 20% discount. Right along B as in boy, P as in Paul, right along BP, 20% discount. Go do that now.
All right, now we're going to put you in the hot seat for a second, Lauren.
Okay.
Do you have a BiggerPockets profile?
I do not, but now that I have this awesome coupon code, I will be buying one for sure.
She has to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Yeah, imagine the number of clients and the conversations, the networking that's going to go on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your world's about to be blown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the best thing in BiggerPockets for me, it's been the networking on there. Hands down, that's been the best feature that I've enjoyed the most.
How many millions of dollars do you think, just off the top of your head, you've done through people you've met through BiggerPockets?
Like in real estate?
Great.
In real
volume
estate.
sales?
Yeah, by volume.
Gosh.
Just with you alone, I've probably done 5 million.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, altogether, it's got to be probably 20 million plus. If
That's
not.
crazy.
I would have to, I mean, I'm kind of pulling out thin there, but it's just been like, I mean, just for us, like we've done a bunch together. Yeah, I mean, tens of millions.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So use the
It's worth
code
it.
right along BP 20%. We can't emphasize the value enough. 20% discount.
And since I butchered it, we'll make sure it's in the show notes as well, or message one of us. All right, guys. So reach out if you got questions for me, Terrance, Lauren. Reach out. We love networking. We love chatting. This is what we do pretty much 7 days a week, if not 6 days a week, and 23 hours a day. So reach out to us. Thanks for watching.